'Cause you're here.
So I just got back in from seeing The Strangers Chapter 2. This review will be spoiler free. Before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So to give you guys a rundown with The Strangers Chapter 2. After learning that one of their victims, Maya, is still alive, three masked maniacs return to finish the job. With nowhere to run and no one to trust, Maya soon finds herself in a brutal fight for survival against psychopaths who are more than willing to kill anyone who stands in their way. So to get into this, I really did not enjoy the first one. I went into this movie having low expectations. I knew that this movie had the potential to be bad just off of a lot of things Rennie Harlan said that he was trying to target with this film, being that he's trying to reveal the backstory of the Strangers. Now, I'm not that big of a fan of the original Strangers. I like Pray at Night more than the original. And with this movie right here, I understand that it is definitely, you know, a part of a trilogy. So it's 3 films. And from my knowledge, they actually had to reshoot their trilogy. So with this movie, once again, it's following this character, Maya, played by Madeline Petch from the first one, and I actually loved her in this one. She has that final girl arc to her in this one. She actually is the highlight of the film. But you know, when it comes to this film, it just feels like one big chase scene. In the first 20 minutes, it did have that slasher vibe to it. It's a scene in this film that is having a morgue involved, and it's very tense. I really like the scene, but after those 20 minutes, things starts to drag. You start to want to see some type of transition in the film, but it just keeps dragging and keeps dragging. I feel like we don't get any benefit or storytelling out of this film. I feel like if it's a trilogy, we should definitely know what's going on. We should definitely have some type of footing in this film, and we just don't get that. It just feels like just one big film with filler, and we were getting like these random like flashbacks that I didn't think we really needed. A lot of things just felt like it was just happening at a point. And with the Strangers being slashers, and at times they are like brutal slashers, especially from like Pray at Night, this film, they don't even show a lot of the kills. A lot of the kills are off screen, which I feel like really takes away from this film, where it's like, okay, we're watching a movie that's based off slashers and you're not showing us any of the kills for real. But once it gets gory and brutal, it definitely gets gory and brutal. It's another scene that's involving Madeline Petch's character Maya, and it you know, she is in the woods, and it really made me grind my teeth together. It was one of those type of gory moments. But other than that, man, I feel like the ending really made me mad. It really made me mad, but I'm still chewing on that because I understand that this is obviously a trilogy. So it's being a story that's being told for 3 movies to round itself up into one big story, which, speaking of that, I feel like, to be honest, Rennie Harlan, you could have just made this one big movie. Like, literally, you could have put Strangers Chapter 1 story, Strangers Chapter 2 story, and 3 in one big film. And I think we would have loved to kind of just chop down a lot of the filler. And I'm gonna be honest, man, this one, in my opinion, it just did not feel like a movie for some reason. It don't feel like a movie, it just feel like one big scene. That's the best way to describe the Strangers Chapter 2. And like I said, I understand that they were trying to reshoot the trilogy. From my knowledge, this movie is currently sitting at 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, y'all. I think it's because, to be honest, just the first film set the tone. Once it was like a carbon copy of the original, it was just like a remake beat for beat. People just hated it. I didn't enjoy it. And I was really hoping that the second one could be different. But this one is worse for the reason I feel like it's just a filler film. It's just a one big scene. And I see that they're trying to tease 3, and I see the twist and the angles they're going for with the Strangers. They even try to incorporate like a Scream vibe at times, like a Scream vibe to this film, and it just doesn't work, in my opinion. I just think it doesn't work. And I feel like this film could have been so much better. It could have been better. I was seeing opportunities that Rennie Harlan and just the whole team could have transitioned out of to kind of go to a different path. And it's one scene that, man, like I said, it's something that's like, why would you do that? What that scene right there actually showed me this film is going for filler, because I'm like, what's the point? In a Strangers movie, you're going to put something like that? And once you see this movie, or if you already saw it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This scene does not fit at all. It throws me off so bad. It's like a little pieces of tidbit that they try to put in there, like, okay, so this connects to this, and it just doesn't work. I don't care if the flashbacks are just put there to try to connect things, it just doesn't work. And I see that they're trying to make the Strangers be like these certain type of people that they're aiming for, and I see why they're trying to make it like that, but I feel that the Strangers would have been better not revealed. I feel like that's what makes them creepy, like Michael Myers. You don't want to know the mythology or the backstory. You don't want to humanize them. And I feel like in this one, when I kind of stepped back and looked at the Strangers chapter 2, I'm like, why are they operating like they're supernatural? Like, for some reason, it's the first Strangers film that I started getting, I'm like, okay, they're operating like they're legit supernatural. Like, it's things that's going on that's giving a lot like Michael Myers, bro. It's not giving that whodunit ghost face type of thing, and, you know, he's got killers in a mask. No, they're giving like entities. I don't know, but like I said, it's because I think people are hating this movie is because it just doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like one big scene. I think that if they could have transitioned out a little more and definitely did better with the storytelling and just the details and everything. And in this film, I'm like, okay, who's Tamara? You know, who's Tamara? Because that's the big question with the Strangers franchise. Who is Tamara? Why is Tamara always being brought up? So we're looking for that, which I personally, you know, think that they should not even tell us that. You know what I'm saying? I feel that only reason that that's being brought up is because Rennie Harlan already came out and said he's revealing who the Strangers is. So it's like, if you're going to do that, you might as well tell us who Tamara is. But me personally, I will keep all that under wraps. I won't say nothing. But I feel like when he's telling this story, he thinks it's strategic, but the whole time it's not. It's just not working, man. I just was trying to watch it and like it, and I think it's cool to see the Strangers on the big screen, man. I love the look of the Strangers, like the upgraded look with the doll face mask and everything. So cool. I think sometimes to kind of like, because I feel like I'm just butchering this movie, but I think that it does have like good sound design when they're stepping around, the Strangers stepping around, you're hearing their footsteps. Once again, once it gets gory and brutal, they do a good job at showcasing it. One big downfall of this movie is just them simply having a lot of off-screen kills. That really put a bad taste in my mouth, and the storytelling is just not there. I feel like if we're going to have like no kills, really, the storytelling has to be immaculate. This did not have good storytelling. You know, I would hope that the third one could pick it up, but I mean, we're already at the third one. The second one's already in theaters and people are hating, so. But overall, if I had to rate the Strangers Chapter 2, I will give it a 4 out of 10. I'll give it a 4 out of 10, and I just it's just one of them films, man. I think we didn't need. I genuinely don't think we needed this. I think that we didn't ask for this. I think it could have just been a different story. Could have been so much better, but that's just me. Comment down below. How do you feel about the Strangers Chapter 2? What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments. With that being said, I want y'all to hit me up on all my social medias at ILIKESCARY, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.